Good evening, this is the September 8th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. First up,
Reserved decision, Appeal 2021-049, 45 Washington, Novo LLC, 45 Washington Avenue, Jamesport, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-89-2-54.3, RB40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Chapter 301, Section 3B, accessory building, structure, or use where habitable space in an accessory structure is not deemed customarily incidental, subordinate to the principal building or use.
are the applicants here? Nobody? All right, let's go on to the next one.
Second call.
Appeal 2022-019, Christopher Bada, 11 Oak Street, Jamesport, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-93-1-10, RB40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-15A1A, where a proposed accessory structure in front yard is not permitted and is 36.5 feet from the property line when 50 feet is required. Chapter 307-15-1B, where existing rear yard setback is 2.5 feet, minimum required is 20 feet. Chapter 301-14, where upper levels in an accessory structure not incidental to or customarily found in a single-family dwelling, and Chapter 301-17, where proposed impervious surface 23% when maximum allowable is 15%.
Okay. On appeal number 2022-019, I move the appeal of Christopher Bada, 11 Oak Street, Jamesport, Suffolk County Map 693-1-10, RB40 zoning. Everything that Tracy just read in it, I add to that the structure shall not be a rental. It shall be accessory to the principal single residence use only. Habitable recreation space shall not be converted into a separate residential unit on the premises. There shall be no kitchen in the accessory structure, nor shall the structure be permitted to be converted into an accessory apartment at any time. Property owner shall install landscape buffers around the building using arborvitaes or similar evergreen plantings in order to soften the appearance of the structure and provide screening between neighbors' properties. All windows directly facing properties, 11 Bayside and 17 Bayside, will be opaque in order to maintain a level of adequate privacy for the residents of said parcels. In accordance with the applications and sketches and amendments thereto, if any is filed with the building inspector, I move that the appeal be granted.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, so we have Mr. Whitmire,
Aye.
Mr. Gazzillo,
I recused.
Mr. Zaweski,
Aye.
and Mr. McLaughlin. I vote aye. So the appeal has been granted. You can take it from there. Okay.
Appeal 2022-032, Andrea Rubino, 81 Longview Drive, Riverhead, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-14-2-6, RA40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-9A1B, where proposed deck 9.8 feet from the side property line when 20 feet required, and Chapter 301-9A1C, where proposed deck 14.9 feet from rear property line when 20 feet required.
Okay. Anybody be heard on this matter? Please step up. Thank you. You're welcome.
Make sure you saw
All right there, young lady. Have you been sworn in before?
Yes.
Then just state your name and your address.
Andrea Rubino, 81 Longview Drive in Riverhead.
You have the floor.
Well, I brought in some paperwork that I'd like you to look at.
You just give it to me.
This is my brother-in-law, Steve Bono. He's the architect that helped me
Speak into the microphone as
that
best you
helped me
can.
design my house,
Okay,
okay?
so if you're going to speak, please go to the microphone first.
Stephen Bono,
Hold on, whoa, you're ahead of me. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God?
I do.
Now you can state your name and
Okay.
your address.
Stephen Bono, STEPHENBONO. Address? Need an address?
Address?
Okay, 2 The Spout, Smithtown, New York.
Okay.
11787.
You're clear. Now you can say what you want.
Just pull the microphone closer.
Yes, okay. I know Andrea was here a week or so ago and heard some concerns about her proposal to put a deck on her house in the backyard, concerns about privacy. So I reviewed, the concern with her, and we discussed an option that we think mitigates the privacy issue both for the neighbor next door to her backyard and for her also. Right now, there is no fence on the property line. And we did a little mock-up with a string at that point, if we were to put a fence right at the property line at 6 foot. And the pictures that you're looking at there depict, there should be a pink line that shows what you would see above that point, and you wouldn't see anything below it, because there would be a fence there. And what the
So that's on the west side, I believe?
on the west side of the property.
Right.
So, based on sight lines from her kitchen window, I think you'll see one shot that's from the kitchen window that has that pink line on it. The deck would actually be 4 inches lower, because it has to be lower than the floor in the house going out. Basically, having a 6-foot fence there would basically mitigate anyone being able to see down into the yard of the next-door neighbor. What you would be relegated to seeing would be just the roof. You'd see the tip of the peak, and you'd see further to the west, the top of the roof. There should be a little diagram in there, too, that we made just sort of to, illustrate what we're talking about sight lines. So,
Have you shared this with the neighbors?
no, I was asked to look at it this week. I was away, I just got back, and I knew there was a hearing tonight, so that's why I'm here.
Do you have a copy for the neighbors? So they can look at it?
I do, yeah, I have a copy I can give to them here.
Let them take a look at it.
Sure.
Take a few minutes out.
Where should we go, outside?
No, right here.
How about right here? Just show it to the neighbors.
Bring it up on the table.
We're the ones,
Bring it up on the table. No, excuse me,
Sir,
sir.
you can bring it up onto the table.
yeah, and they can gather around. Tommy?
They've all been on the mic.
Mr. Bono, you wanna give-
Swan. And don't cover the, mics there.
Okay.
Mr. Bono, you want to show him this also?
I have that on the
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what we did. This pink line here, you couldn't see, it was like a green string was hard. I just articulated with a pink marker. But we went out on the property line, which is at 9.8, approximately 10 feet from the house, and we strung a line across, okay? So
That's from my
this would be the top of the fence, from the kitchen window. So what we're seeing here, this is the peak of your house here. So if we put a 6-foot fence up, basically what we'd be seeing, we'd see some of your roof, but we couldn't see the face of your house, your yard. We couldn't tell if anybody was there because of the sight lines, because
We can actually see
Here.
less
I-
than we see now.
I did this. This is just diagrammatic, but it illustrates what the pictures show. So
I hope so.
if we were here, okay, on the deck, which is the yellow line here, or in the kitchen, that's showing from the kitchen window, looking down, that's a sight line, and that's exactly what you see. We saw a little bit of the peak of your house, but we, vision, you see in straight lines. It doesn't bend around the corners. And the same way, when you're down here, this would be you in your yard, your backyard. I know you have a slope and you have a small flat area at the bottom. If you were down here looking up, what you would see is basically just the top of her window and her peak, like her gable end of the roof. So it would afford Andrea privacy, and it would afford you guys privacy, because she would only be able to see a little bit of your roof, certainly not into your yard. And you wouldn't be able to see her deck or anybody on her deck, because it's gonna be up above her window, which is about 7 feet off the ground.
Can I ask a question, or would I have to be sworn?
You certainly can, because the microphones are right there.
Just identify yourself for the record so they know who it is.
Douglas Sorensen, 228 Park Road.
There you go.
I'm 6 foot, you're about 6 foot.
I'm about 5'8", but I'm 5,
Fair enough,
my eyes are 5
Wait a minute, you're way off, but go ahead.
fair enough. I'm 6'1", 6'2", you're
right,
5'8".
right.
So say 6 foot
Right.
in the middle, right? Standing on a 4-foot deck, we're not really seeing what the perspective would be.
Well, that's what I'm
But looking
saying.
out the back window, that's what I see.
Okay, but what you're not seeing is if there's a 6-foot fence here, you're gonna be seeing,
Well, the 6-foot fence doesn't go to the top of the house.
no, it wouldn't go.
It goes about here, right? Because you got the foundation, and you have maybe 5 courses that are 8 inches each, right? So the 6-foot fence is gonna come up to about here.
Well,
The foundation's about 25 to 30 inches, accurate?
well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, based on this 10 feet out, a 6-foot fence that we mocked up with a string on here, this is what it would be. And here's Andrea actually standing outside, she's 5'5". Okay, so picture something 6 inches above the top of her head, which would be the fence, is gonna cut right across here. You know, so what we're gonna be seeing is, there's the peak of your roof there, it's the same thing that the string shows.
Well, right now, with all the leaves on the trees, it's not exactly an accurate depiction of what it's gonna be like all the time.
Well, in the winter, who's hanging out on my deck, Doug? I mean,
You might be, I don't know.
I'm not hanging out on
Well,
my deck in the winter.
You could be in October, you could be in March.
Well, the point
Well,
is,
you know what? If all the ivy comes off the trees, that's gonna be an issue.
The ivy's coming off the trees, the ivy will kill
I
every
had
tree.
emailed a copy of this in today, I don't know if you had the opportunity to get this.
Sure.
You got it already? So you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
No, those, I don't think we have. Those-
Okay,
Yeah, you
pass
know.
them on.
We got the
You
email.
know,
They're-
you
they're
have a
in-
copy of them.
because previously, I think what was here, this was a 4-foot fence.
Right.
That was a 4-foot fence. The 6-foot fence would be the same height as the one that's up in the front here. Yeah. So, you know, all I'm saying is that we did a very rudimentary type of mock-up showing, you know, what we would see actually looking out from either the deck or the house or whatever. And it's, listen, I live on an acre in Smithtown, you know, I have plantings, this and that, I can still see my neighbor's peak of his roof, and he can see mine, you know.
And I'm not concerned about the peak of the roof. And I thought, and it's not fair to kind of throw this at you now because you weren't here at the last meeting, but I thought at the end of the last meeting that we had a kind of a general consensus in conversation, in discussion, that there would be a setback of 42 inches, just to the edge of the door, so it wouldn't really change the scope of the project too much. Because I think Julio, your brother, had measured and said it was about 3.5 feet from the corner post to the edge of the door. And we could start the deck there, inset the steps, because the steps are about 3.5 feet off the property line, 4.5 feet off the property line,
Off the face of the building.
off the property line.
You have
So when
10
you-
feet, no, it wouldn't be that
It was
close.
4 feet wide, right?
It was 3 feet wide.
It was 3 feet wide? All right, so we're about 5 feet then off the property
7
line.
feet,
7 feet off the property line? Well, we're at 9.7? 9 point,
Right,
okay.
approximately 7.
So, I think if we inset the steps, that would be a little bit better for all of us. I thought we had a general consensus that there was gonna be a drawing coming back this evening with a 42-inch setback with the steps incorporated in that and a privacy screen. That's what when I watched the minutes over, that's what we kind of walked away saying here. And Julio said, he goes, that's doable, it's something that's definitely doable, it can be done, I just need to remeasure.
Okay,
So that was our
unfortunately,
consensus at the end of the night.
Wait a minute.
Well,
yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't here, okay, and the information wasn't related to me. So when I was presented with it and we strung the line, I just thought that that was the easiest thing to maintain her deck the way she would like to have it, to be able to give the neighbor's privacy and also afford her privacy that she wants and everyone deserves. You know, so, you know, I just thought that was a simple
Well,
solution.
I thought we were looking for a compromise, and I thought we had reached that compromise last time before we walked out of here. And I thought we had drawings coming back.
Well, I don't know because I wasn't here.
Yeah, I know,
I
I
did go
watched-
over the paperwork. This gentleman wasn't here.
I was-
I know.
Did you guys speak before you came to the meeting tonight?
No.
We did,
We did briefly on
Right.
Sunday,
right,
or Monday, Sunday or Monday.
right.
So that's what I kind of thought we were at. I thought it would be a fair compromise. I originally came in asking for 15 feet setback, because that's consistent with the rear setback. It was explained to me during our discussion here that night, 2 weeks ago, that that's not really feasible. it's not reasonable because it would create a hardship because the door is already in place, the kitchen is already finished, the cabinets are already up in place, and it would be unreasonable for me to expect to move the door over 6 feet. So I'm not expecting that. But I thought 42 inches was a reasonable compromise. We're only talking about 3.5 feet. You still have basically a 360 or 370 square foot deck. It only diminishes the size of the deck about 15 or 16%. It can be shifted over because the issue with the septic is no longer an issue. The septic is in the back, so it can be shifted over, or it could be made a little bit smaller, proportional to the property. I thought that was fair. 42-inch difference, I think is fair, and it gives me that reasonable amount of privacy that I was expecting. I'm not asking for anything more, I'm not asking for that 15-foot setback, nor am I asking for the full 20-foot setback in the code. Just go over 3.5 feet, start the deck even with the door. It creates no hardship for anybody. You can still have your deck, it's just moved over 3.5 feet with the inset of the staircase incorporated in that, and a privacy screen, and we're done. And I think it's a fair compromise. Neither side gets 100% of what they want, but I think that's a fair compromise.
You got anything to say,
I think it's
Tom?
I
balanced.
have something to say, yeah, I mean.
Just say your name.
Well, my name is Thomas Shaffrey, I've been
You were
sworn in last week, yes, I
So
was.
yes.
You were.
Pardon me?
Spell your last
Oh,
name.
Shaffrey,
Thanks.
224 Parker Road, Riverhead. I'm an adjoining homeowner to both Andrea and Doug, and I feel like I've been dismissed in this thing as if I don't count. So I'll tell you, this morning I sat down at my kitchen table, and Tracy had laundry on the seat where I usually sit. So I sat at the other side of the table, and I looked up over my sink, and I could see your deck. From my kitchen table, I can see your deck. So with my light on at night, you're gonna be able to see my kitchen table. I don't wanna see you, and I don't want you to see me. And that will make us friends and a good neighbor. Maybe it won't even make us friends, but it'll make us a decent neighbors to one another.
talking about, Tom?
What deck? On
You said
the
you saw a
proposed
deck.
The proposed deck, excuse me. And the 6-foot fence is not gonna cut it for me. It does not do it at an angle. Let's put the fence up and come back in 2 weeks and see if it works. I don't think it's going to.
Tom, this is your property here, right? Your lot number 4, I believe?
I'm on the corner.
You're on the corner, okay. So your property line between you and Doug is actually at the front of Andrea's house. So how does the deck back here?
Diagonally, I can see where that deck is from our bedroom, our kitchen, and my kitchen table now, and my back door, and my outdoor shower. So all of that. I don't know that you want to see me that much, I'm telling you, you don't.
Well,
When I stand in our backyard,
I don't
we
think-
have right
Ma'am,
here.
did you
Have you been
identify yourself?
sworn?
Oh.
No, sorry,
I don't think, were you
Raise your
sworn?
right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes.
State your name and your address.
Tracy Smith, 224 Park Road, Riverhead. So this is, right over here is, we have a fence going along the property line. This, the furthest corner that, butts up against Doug and Andrea is a 6-foot fence here, and then it gradually gets lower. So this 6-foot fence, if I stand on my ground, in my backyard, on level ground, because that's elevated, and I stand here with a 6-foot fence here, I can completely see in an angle in your side and half of,
If you
like, a
stand
portion of your backyard.
in this corner of your property, if you
No,
stand
if I
there?
stand like over here, like we have an outdoor kitchen, like a
Back door,
barbecue,
the
a
kitchen
barbecue.
window.
So like if I'm right here at the barbecue on level ground and along this walkway, which is a 6-foot fence, I have a bird's eye view into the side of your house and a portion of your backyard, which would be closest, like the deck portion, which would be closest to your house.
Right. Well, what about her front stoop here? You have a problem with that?
No, not at all. No,
I mean, because that's right there, you come out the front of the house, and I guess if you can see back here, you can certainly see somebody here, or somebody standing or sitting up there.
there's a fence between us there, and the angle is not as bad, the diagonal angle. So you're showing, I'm pretty good with trajectory, and I look at this thing, and what I calculated from my kitchen table is I need a 16-foot hedge to block that deck from sitting at my kitchen table. That's what I would need.
What about the little deck on top of your property that looks right into my house?
That's not a deck.
Oh, what is it?
And it's not a deck.
It's just a
ground.
bench.
It's ground.
Right.
It's ground is all it is. It's a
Right.
bench. It's a bench.
Right on the fence that shouldn't be on my property, Tom.
No, and I want the
Okay.
fence. I'm happy to come
Right
take the fence
there.
down.
Okay, I wasn't complaining about it.
Let's
yeah.
stay with this
Time out.
issue.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't all talk at the same time.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Getting more
So-
adversarial, so.
I mean, just play devil's advocate. She's in her backyard now,
Yeah.
on the ground.
On the ground, I have no problem with.
You
Build
still
a
see her,
patio of the entire yard.
you'll still see her, but
I
she's not gonna.
Zach,
Gentlemen,
A 6-foot
You
fence.
can't
will-
you can't be talking back and
Oh,
forth.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yes.
If she's standing on the ground, you said you need a 16-foot hedge,
Well, on the ground, I have no
then
problem.
you need a 12-foot hedge so you won't
I'm
see her.
sorry, I have to respond to this, it's not,
I understand that, but I'm just,
No, I'm making a statement. You said you need a 16-foot hedge to block her out if she's raised up 4 feet off the ground.
Where the proposed deck would be.
So then, if she's in
Yes.
her backyard, on grade, you only need a 12-foot hedge.
I don't even need any hedge, she would be behind the fence. Its trajectory is what it is. Your deck, if your deck were ground level, if it were a patio or anything along those lines, we wouldn't be discussing this. Bring it to the property line as far as I'm concerned.
okay. I'll tell you what, why don't you guys go to the back for about 2 minutes, let me just speak to the board. In fact, you guys can stay right there for all I care. Stay right there. All right, so you guys are all set. And you want to? Okay. We've heard enough, we're gonna make a decision, so. You got it? No, I don't know. You don't have it.
Excuse me. Did you want to hear from me?
If you raise your right hand and you swear to tell the truth for a change,
The whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you God.
and your name is?
Thomas O'Neill. I'm at
Please.
77 Longview Drive. And I probably bought most of her property. I bought it on the east. I bought it on the east, and I bought it on the north. So basically, mostly, I'm the one who's gonna see most of all of this. I've talked to Andrea and her brother, and everything that they've told me since I've known them since they've owned the house, because I owned my property before any of these people. And everything that she said that she's gonna do, she's done. She says she's gonna take down the old fence, put up a new fence, and, I don't see any, to me, the big thing is safety. And I don't see anything wrong with the fence coming off towards me, that there's any safety matters. I know one of the other pieces of property, they wanted to put up a deck that was 4 inches off my property. That was unacceptable. You guys ruled to it. I think 2 of you were on the board then, and that's about safety. I could see that, but I don't see any safety thing here. It's set back that if you fall or anything else, she's gonna fall on their property. And, a lot of this other stuff is, I understand everybody wants their privacy, but I look into all their property. I'm higher than all of them. I could go in the back of my house and look down and see everything. And, I might be Tom, but I'm not a peeping Tom. And the thing is that, it's,
The ones still where you approve, you don't approve.
I approve it. She's done everything that she's told me so far that she's doing. I think she's been jumping through hoops with some of this stuff. And, I think she's being reasonable what she is asking for. She's not
Okay.
4 inches off the property.
State your name.
I don't think you've
Barbara,
been sworn.
no, I haven't, so,
Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, I do.
State your name and your
Barbara-
address.
Barbara Sorensen, BarbaraSorenson, and 228 Park. We're the property that's directly below Andrea. I just want to make a statement that not that I am an architect, not that I am a drawer, but I approached Andrea with a proposal with the 42-inch setback, what she could do, how it would look, Pottery Barn privacy screens. I think that we have, as a neighbor, have gone above and beyond to try to get a little bit of leeway on both sides. She still gets her deck, we get privacy, but there doesn't seem to be any give. It's, I want 20 by 20 and that's that. That's kind of not the way zoning works. Safety is a big part of zoning, but so is appeal. and keeping neighbors friendly. I just think that, Andrea, I approached you with this. I don't know
No,
if
I
you
know.
showed it,
I
I don't
really-
know if you showed it to Julio or not, and it's unfair to you because you weren't here the last time. And it's not to scale, but I took the time and I approached Andrea, and I think that needs to be considered because it's not being considered.
When people are talking over here, they have to be much closer to the table to get picked up that mic.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Everybody else got a chance to speak, I should.
I think that's it.
I'm gonna close this, close it, and do the next meeting. I know you guys
You don't want it.
but let's just keep it,
Like I said,
no.
I tried to, address,
You don't think so?
and physically, there's no smoking
All right.
mirrors. I mean, what we did was, you can see.
These guys come back.
So to
If they
me,
can't work something
that
out,
affords privacy. I mean, unless you're gonna be standing on your
we'll
roof.
we'll kick it.
This is theoretical.
This,
This is theoretical.
this is illustrating, it's theoretical, illustrating what the strength.
Okay, gang, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you guys till the next meeting, see if you can work something out. If you can't work something out, we are making the decision next meeting. We've heard enough. We can make a decision tonight, but we're gonna give you guys one more time to try and work it out. If you can't, okay. I think we know what we're gonna do. So you guys just try and work it out. If you can't, that's fine. We'll make a decision next meeting, okay? We're not closing. We're just leaving it open. If you have anything, please get it to us before the meeting, but next meeting, decisions made. End of story. Yes, Tom?
I just wanted to say in response to Tom O'Neill, who I've known since high school,
They can't hear you. Go by the microphone, please.
And say who you are.
Tom Shaffrey. So what I wanted to respond to Tom O'Neill's statement, he's got a 15-foot setback from his property line. We would be fine with that. Give us 15 feet and we're done tonight.
Work it out till next.
Again, we've heard enough. That's it for tonight,
We
okay?
appreciate your time.
We'll talk to you guys 2 weeks. What is it, the 22nd? 22nd? All right, see you folks on the 22nd. Please, try and sit down, work something out. If not,
I'll make the decision.
we make the decision, okay? Thanks very much, everyone. Thank you for being
Good
here.
night. Drive safely. Good night.
You're quite welcome. You too.
Call number one again?
Okay, yes, let's, how about appeal number, whatever it was?
2021.
Those folks here, and they're not, so let's adjourn that to the next meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We want to adjourn this one, too.
Well, first off, we have to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
No.
And are
we
they,
have- We have to adjourn this last hearing we had.
No pro tunc.
I thought we just did.
No, Rick,
well-
we did make a motion. We made a motion.
Let's make a motion.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, appeal number 2022-32 be adjourned till September 22nd, was it?
Yeah, second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. All in favor to accept the minutes of the last meeting?
I think this just says.
Yeah, there's two.
2 sets. 2 sets of meetings. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anyone interested in adjourning the meeting?
Yes, sir.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, everyone.